So the steps of the shaitan gives us an indication that the shaitan is, or the shaitan uses a very strategic approach in deceiving human beings. What is that strategic approach? The gradual process or the gradual methodology. Let me summarize that by, as I said to you, by the Arabic statement where it says نظرة فابتسامة فموعد فلقاء فحرام. The summary of that is the person, the two persons from the opposite gender, a brother and a sister. In the beginning, once they see each other, they just look. The shaitan takes them to the next step, which is to exchange smiles. Then the shaitan takes them to the third step, which is what? To exchange some chatting. Then the shaitan takes them to the third or the fourth step, which is what? To have an appointment to meet. Innocent meeting. Maybe to discuss issues related to da'wah. Yeah? Then after that, the shaitan puts in their hearts kind of attachment. Yeah? And they admire each other. The shaitan, until now, he's not telling them that you will have haram relationship. No. Even the shaitan may tell the people or those two persons, no, you are meeting her for a good cause, or you are meeting him for a good cause, and be careful, طيب, don't do zina, we are not going to do the zina, we are not going to do this haram. And then after that, once they meet, a very typical question that comes to me, a very typical situation, almost on a weekly basis, brothers and sisters, is I don't know and it happened. I don't know how, but it happened. Okay? طيب. And I remember the last case, the young girl or the lady, she was doing da'wah. And she said, I'm practicing, I read Quran, and sometimes I teach others how to read Quran and how to do other things. And the person whom I committed haram or whom she committed haram with, again, is a practicing person. He prays, he gives da'wah, etc. How? She said, we were coming to discuss a proposal. He wants to get married to me, and his family forced him to get married to another lady. So he visited me in my city. He lives in another city. He visited her in another city, and they started to discuss. They want to see what is the way forward. So look at the shaitan. Yeah? So just to meet, innocent meeting. Not because if the shaitan were to tell them that you will commit zina right from the beginning, they might have taken some precautions. But the shaitan didn't tell them this at all. So the shaitan told them, okay, you will just meet to discuss the matter. So they met, they discussed the matter, they found that there is no way forward. So what they have, look at the deception of the shaitan. The shaitan told him, it is too late now to go back to your city, and you are driving a long drive, so why don't you stay over here? Then the brother said to the sister, do you know of a good place to stay, of a hotel? She said, well, I'm not experienced, but there is a hotel there. Let us go to that hotel. Okay, they went to that hotel. Then let us see the room. Is it a good room or not? Yeah? So they went upstairs, both of them, to see the room. Oh, it looks nice. Okay, let us just have a rest. Faddal, have a rest. So she stayed there, and all of a sudden, they had the haram relationship. She said, Wallahi, Sheikh, and this is Wallahi, brothers, this is a genuine case. One of the recent cases. And she said, I knew that there will be something wrong, but I could not control myself, and as if the shaitan was taking over me. Yeah? I said, why the shaitan took over you? Because you let the shaitan to what? To open the door. You let the shaitan to enter. So slowly, you reach to the point where the shaitan have taken over you, and you cannot control yourself, and the shaitan was just leading you until you fell into the haram. I have so many stories like this, very, very similar stories. One of the recent stories, again, they both were married. And as a result of this, look at this. As a result of this, the lady had some problems with her husband. Of course, after this, she was encouraged to finish the relationship with her husband. So she got divorced from her husband, and he encouraged her as well. Himself, he was married with the children. He abandoned his children. He broke his marriage. He left his wife, a very good wife. They came to me, and he was hiding the fact that he committed zina with her. She doesn't know this, and she said, I can't understand why he wants to divorce me. We have children. We will be leaving the children to the streets, etc., etc. But he was what? Because of the shaitan now took over. So he destroyed his family in order to get married to that lady, okay, or that sister. So they got married. I don't know what happened. I doubt that they will be living a successful marriage. Why? Because I have so many stories. One of the, again, recent stories, couple came and they have problems, and those problems revolve around what? Their history. Yeah? 10 years ago or 15 years ago, they got married. They got married after a haram relationship. They lived for some time in a good mood. After some time now, they are stable, they have children. The shaitan came to remind them of what they used to do. So the man, now he doesn't trust his wife. He said that you have committed haram with me before marriage, so for sure you can commit haram with any man else, with anyone else. And she said to him, what about you? You have committed haram as well before marriage, so for sure you will commit haram with anyone else. And hence those problems escalated. These are genuine stories. كمثل الشيطان إذ قال للإنسان كفر. In this ayah, it is like the example of the shaitan who said to the man, disbelieve in Allah Jalla wa Ala, and the person disbelieved. This is a story, maybe you have heard of this story, the story of Barsisa al-Rahib. Now Barsisa al-Rahib is the riwayah of Ibn Abbas, of Al-Awfi and Ibn Abbas. It might not be that strong, but the other narration is strong. And that narration, in brief, you know that narration anyway, or the story, that a priest, yeah, he was worshipping Allah Jalla wa Ala in his place, in his church, and then next to him there were brothers and their sisters, and those brothers, they want to go for jihad. So they said, we will leave our sister alone. Who is going to take care of her? The best person to take care of her is that priest. So they came to him and they said, we are going for jihad. Please take care of our sister. He said, yeah, most welcome. Then the story, طبعا there are some details, some scholars say they are not very authentic details, but in general, the story is acceptable. The story starts by the priest wants to see how she is doing. Then the shaitan came to him and he said to him, why don't you prepare food and just leave the food outside her house? Then the shaitan came again and he said, oh, she will be leaving her house to come and pick the food from the middle of the street. Why don't you put the food next to her door? Because this is better for her, and maybe someone will annoy her, etc. He said, well, that's a brilliant idea. So he started to bring the food next to her door. And then the next step, he said to him, why do you just leave it here? Maybe someone will take it. You don't know whether they have, she has taken it or someone else has taken it. Why don't you knock on the door and just wait until she takes the food? So he was starting to knock on the door until she takes the food. So he saw her. Well, she looks pretty. Then the shaitan starts to tell him, why don't you just give her salam? How are you? How things? She's been alone for some time. Then he started to talk to her in a very innocent way, step by step, until he committed zina with her. After he committed zina with her, she became pregnant. Then when she became pregnant, she gave birth. Her brothers came from jihad, and they found that she was pregnant. She gave birth. Who is this? Who is the father of this? Yeah. So they were investigating the situation with her. On the same time, this priest at this priest. He was afraid that they will tell about him. So, but he said, no one knows about me. So the shaitan came to the brothers of that sister during, when they were sleeping. So the shaitan told him, by the way, do you know the one who committed zina with your sister? He is that priest. So he came to the first brother, he came to the second brother, he came to the third brother, and to the fourth brother. Then in the morning, the first brother was talking to his brothers, Wallahi, I saw this in my dream. The second one said, Allah, I saw the same thing. The third one said, I saw the same thing. The fourth one said, I saw the same thing. So it must be true. So they went to the priest and they told him, you are the one who did it. You are the one who did it. They took him to the leader, and the leader decided to kill him. On the stage where he is to be executed, the shaitan came to him. Listen to this. Don't think that this is exaggeration, yeah, brothers and sisters. I have given you some examples, life examples. And this is, generally speaking, an authentic story without putting much focus on the details. So the shaitan came to the man on the stage where he is going to be executed, and he told him, do you know me? He said, who are you? He said, I am the one who is behind all of these problems for you. So I conspired against you. So he said, what do you want? He said, I will be the only one to save you from this situation. He said, how can you save me? He said, you need to do sujood. You need to prostrate before me. He said, to do sujood for you? He said, yes, that's the only way to save you. Then he said, but I can't because I am chained. I can't. He said, just flick your eyes. So he flicked his eyes, and then he was executed. He died on kufr. Yeah? And he will be after being a priest, he will be dwelling into the hellfire forever. Why? Because of the steps of the shaitan. We know of so many stories similar to this. The sister left Islam. Why a sister? Because I had a haram relationship with a person. And then I found that it is too far for me to go back to Islam. So I said, just let it go. I said, let it go means that you will be dwelling in the hellfire forever. I had a similar conversation with one of the sisters. You will be dwelling into the hellfire forever. She said, what can I do? I can't leave this man, and I have children from him in haram. So it's better for me to leave Islam. I said, Islam is not an identity. Islam either takes you to paradise, or if you leave Islam, it will take you to the hellfire. So it is not a matter of a choice that you decided to leave Islam. We have another case where the sister said, well, if you don't allow me to this person whom I love, who was a non-Muslim, I will leave Islam. I said, are you threatening me, or you are threatening yourself? Who is going to go to hellfire? Am I going to go to hellfire, or you are going to go to the hellfire? You will be going to the hellfire. It is not me. And as I'm mentioning this comes the second point. She said, you can't judge. You can't judge. I said, then if I can't judge, why are you calling me? And I was a bit strict. Why are you calling me? If you claim, and she started to claim that Allah is oft forgiving, Allah forgives, yeah? I said, if Allah forgives, yeah, then Allah wouldn't create hellfire. Why did Allah create hellfire? Why did Allah say that He sends Muslims to the hellfire? If He is, as you claim, oft forgiving, He wouldn't create the hellfire in the first place, and He wouldn't tell us that if you commit this sin, I will put you in the hellfire. And He said clearly, as the Prophet ﷺ said clearly, that the zina, those who fornicate and those who commit adultery, they will be put in an oven and the hellfire. Those are the Muslims who commit this sin, not the non-Muslims. No, the Muslims who commit adultery without repenting, they will be put in an oven, and the oven will be closed, and the fire will be burning them from all sides. For how many days? For how many years? For 1 year or 2 years, 10 years, 1,000 years? Allah knows. No one will save them except Allah Jalla wa Ala when He sees that all the sin has been, or they have been purified.